Today we're going to go over the lower roof trusses and detail review in FrameCAD Detailer. I'm going to go ahead and open up FrameCAD Detailer. And here in my project tree, I have my project, the two-story house. Within that project, I have two plans, the lower wall frames and the upper wall frames. Lower wall frames represent the first floor, upper wall frames represent the second floor. You should already have walls on the upper wall frames, excuse me, the lower wall frames with their openings. If I expand this plan, I can see each one of my individual walls. From here, I'm going to click on the Add New Plan button. It's going to create a new plan. I'm going to right click it, go to Properties, and I'm going to name it Lower Roof Trusses. And for the elevation, I'm going to set it to 8 feet because these roof trusses sit on top of the first floor walls, which are 8 feet tall. Click OK. I'm going to collapse my lower wall frames. I'm going to select my lower roof trusses plan. Then I'm going to click this little button over here. It's called Select Another Plan as a Template. It's going to allow me to choose one of the other plans that I have in this project. I have two to choose from. I can choose either the lower wall frames or the upper wall frames. I'm going to choose the lower wall frames and click OK. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to double click on my middle wheel button. This is my lower wall frames. These are just two-dimensional lines that represent what walls I've put into my floor plan below. Okay. It also takes into account any of the CAD, DWG, or DXF drawings that I have in that plan as well. If I go back to lower wall frames, I not only have windows with openings, but I also have actual CAD lines. So I'm going to go back to lower roof trusses. This is going to allow me to see exactly where I need to place my roof trusses for the lower roof truss plan. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this icon here, Draw Roof, or RI for short. Down in the command line, it says Parameters. Pitch in degrees. Pitch is our angle. Eave, that's the overhang of our roof, which for this project is going to be 1.5 feet. Okay. But before I even touch any of those settings, I'm going to click Enter. Let's try that again. Enter. So I'm going to click on the we're going to click on this button here. It's the Draw Roof button, or RI for short. Down below in our command line, it says Parameters, Pitch in degrees, P equals 20. That's the angle of the roof, of the slope of the roof. And Eve, or V, is set to 1.5 feet. That's our overhang for all of our roofs. Okay, so if you don't have these settings, make sure you set it up correctly. Type in P for pitch, hit enter. Make sure you type in 20 for 20 degrees. Then type in V, hit enter, and then type in 1 foot dash 5, 1 foot 5 dash 1/2 inches, and hit enter. All right. Once you have those settings dialed in, click enter one more time. And now we're going to set up 4 vertices to define our roof. We want to use the walls. We don't want to use the actual roof drawing, right? Because this corner here represents the maximum extent of the roof. We actually want to define where the roof starts, right, where it hits the walls below. And then it'll automatically calculate 1.5 feet this way, 1.5 feet this way. So I'm going to select this corner first. Make sure you have your snap end on so you can snap to these things. Okay. My second point is going to be this one down here. My third one will be down here. And my fourth one will be up here. Once you're done with that, go ahead and hit enter. Hit escape a few times on your keyboard just to make sure you exit out of that command and deselect anything you may have selected. Okay. If we ever need to change the properties of this roof, we can go ahead and select it. Here it is right there. I can right click it. I can change the pitch. I can change the heel height. I can change the eave offset. I can't change the elevation, but I can go over here and right click on lower roof trusses and change the elevation there. And hit cancel. The next tool we're going to use in regards to our roof, I'm going to hit escape a couple times first, is the roof block command. So go ahead and click on the roof block command. It's going to be this one right here, create roof block, or RB. Okay. This dialog box will appear asking you what type of truss frame type would you like to use. And if you'll remember, we set up a frame type especially for this class, and in parentheses we put studio. So go ahead and select that one. Do not select truss. Okay, make sure you select truss studio. Truss is the frame type for using our machine at Orange Coast College. Truss Studio is for using a theoretical machine for the purposes of this class only. So Truss Studio, click OK. Again, for the roof panels, Roof Panel Studio, click OK. Our command line, it says click corner of roof block. And then in brackets, it says show properties. So you just hit enter on your keyboard. It's going to bring up this dialog box and show you the properties of the roof block that you're about to make. Make sure your settings are set up accordingly. We need a 2-foot truss spacing, 4-foot first truncated truss, 2-foot truncated truss spacing. Hip method will be set to truss style, 2-foot for the first jack truss. We're doing a panel gable overhang method. We want to do equal spacing for our truncated truss spacing and absolute spacing from start for our truss spacing. And go ahead and click on make default. That way, if you have to do trusses for the upper roof trusses, we can go ahead and use these same settings that we've already established. Click OK. Now we need to define our roof. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on 4 points. So the first one will be over here. Second one will be down here. Again, make sure you have your snap and toggle on. This will be the third one down here. Now when we zoom out, notice that there is a big bold black line right over here on the right. In the command line, it's saying hip, gable, Dutch gable, or saddle. So it's asking us, well, for this side of our roof, is this a hip, a gable, Dutch gable, or saddle? I'm going to type in H in the command line and hit enter. Now that big bold black line is moved over to the left. I'm going to do the same thing, H, hit enter. Give it a little while. And voila. We have all of our trusses for the lower roof. Okay. So we're going to want to remove some of these trusses. So starting with this first one right here, go ahead and click that one, just left click it. And you don't need to hold shift, but just keep on clicking on over. We're removing these because we have no use for them. This is where the walls for the second story exist. So we can't have trusses in our second floor, because then it'd be hard to walk around on that second floor with all these pointy roof trusses all over the place. So we're going to delete them. So from this end, this far left end, all the way to this far right end, go ahead and delete all of those. and you'll be left with something like this. Notice that this truss right here ends abruptly. It does not butt up against any other truss. We'll fix this later. The next thing you want to do is here in your truss panel drop-down menu, make sure you select Truss Studio, and then click on Place Frames. Start coordinate is going to be this line right here, which represents the end of the left lower hip roof. So I'm going to click on that endpoint. I'm going to zoom out, zoom back into this endpoint, and now I'm going to select the side to grip. I want to go to the left, right? So I go to the right side, again, that's where my second story is, so I actually want it to butt up against the second story, so I'm going to make it go this way. While I'm here making brand new trusses, I'm going to go ahead and make the one for the right. So I'm going to click on that endpoint, click on this endpoint, and the side I want to grip is going to be on the right. Once you're done with that, hit escape 2 times. All right. Next thing I want to do, I want to take a dimension. So DI for dimension. We're going to hit enter to accept all of these properties here in the command line. And for the start coordinate, I'm going to go ahead and select this wall on the lower wall frames. And then I'm going to go all the way over to truss 38 in my instance. Okay, and I'm going to bring that dimension up to here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I just want to know the distance from this left side wall all the way over to truss 38 in my case. Yours might be labeled differently, and that's okay. I just need to know that distance because I'm going to use it shortly. All right, and the next thing I want to do is I'm going to right click on this new truss. I'm going to click on Properties. Down here in Frame Script, I want to make sure to select Truss Truncated. I need this to be a truncated truss. Click on the Main tab. Make sure that your left and right eaves are set to 1 foot 5.5. Okay. Once you do that, you should see a setback option up here. Go ahead and enter that distance that we had calculated previously, 11 foot 7, 13/32 of an inch. You want to write it exactly like that right here. On flat section, 0 for the fly over custom depth. Maximum whip spacing, 3 foot 11 1/4 inch. Make sure you check extend chords. Click on make default and then click OK. All right. Let's go ahead and take care of the other one. We're going to select this one over here, right click it, properties, select truncated truss for my framing script, go down to main, check all of these values, 20-degree pitch, our eaves, 11 foot 7, 13/32 setback. Okay, extend chords checked. All right, I'm going to click OK. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to take care of this truss right here, which is extending too far past our brand new truncated truss. And it's eating up into the second story area. And I don't want that. So I'm going to hit escape a couple times. And I'm going to use the member lengthen command, or ML is the keyboard shortcut alias. The distance that I want to shorten its length will be a negative 1 3/4 of an inch. Hit enter. Go ahead and click on this right edge of this truss and it will shorten. Zoom out, zoom into the other side. I'm still in this command. Go ahead and click on this left side of this truss now to shorten it as well. Make sure you have the snap near on so you can just snap to the edge of this truss, and that'll shorten that one as well. Okay. Notice what happens over here in the project tree. My lower roof trusses, roof number 1, TR37 and TR18 have big red X's on them. I'm going to go back and hit undo. I'm going to re-lengthen those just to show you what happens on this side over here. These should go back to normal. Give me one moment. Let me just undo what I just did. All right, so here I am again. I'm going to shorten the length. So ML for member length shorten, -1 3/4 inch. And notice this is TR37. TR37 is right here. Once I shorten this truss, a big red X appears on TR37 in my project tree. And once I shorten TR18, TR18 now has a big red X here. Okay. What that means is that detailer's letting us know that, hey, you've modified these two trusses. Make sure you open them up in elevation view and check that this is how you want to build this truss, because you've changed it, you've trimmed it here in this plan view. Make sure you go back and see if it's looking good in elevation. All right, I'm going to hit escape a couple times, and I'm going to come over here, select this truss. I'm going to right click it and click on build frame. Right, this is what you get. All right, this is the elevation view of this truss. Back here, this is the plan view of all of the trusses. So this is the elevation view for just that one truss. I can use this drop-down menu here to travel between trusses, okay, which I'm not going to do. I can make changes to each one of these web cords. I can add new ones. I can trim some. I can put some service holes. I can do whatever I want to this truss here in this elevation view. This is a secondary window, but don't be afraid to close this button. It doesn't exit you out of this project at all. So I'm going to close it. Next thing I want to do is build this one here. So I'm going to click it once, right click, build frame. Perfect. Everything looks good. Now before I close this window, I'm going to use this drop-down menu to travel to TR37. Remember, TR37 was the one that we trimmed down by, what was it, -1 3/4 inch. So all we need to do in this instance is click on Rebuild. And then we'll go to the other truss, TR18, this one with the big red X, and click on Rebuild. Okay. All that happens is we shortened it in the plan view, and by clicking on Rebuild, we're just saying use the correct frame script to properly space out the framing members of this truss after I've changed its length in the plan view. So Rebuild. Okay. Then click the Close button. The next thing we're going to do is check this out in 3D. Now hopefully this 3D portion works for you all. The viewer might not be installed on the desktops at Orange Coast College. If you have this on your own personal laptop, you might find some sort of glitch or bug in the system. If you do, find my video on my YouTube channel that talks about how to fix that. There's just the registry file that you have to download and install and run, and it will allow you to create your 3D previews. So here's how we do it. We're going to click on File, export 3D VRML. Okay. Now it's asking us, where do you want to save this 3D VRML? Of course, I want to organize it right here in 2025, spring 2025, Arc 121, FrameCAD Studio 1, and I always make a VRML folder in each project that I work on. Okay, this is a place where I store all of my 3D exports for this specific project, and they live in this VRML folder, which lives in that project folder. So I'm going to click on that folder. Please put your 3D previews exactly where you can find it later on. I'm going to click OK. In this dialog box, we want to say select all. So you could select every single frame that we've made thus far and click export. All right. Now, all we have to do is go to File, View 3D, navigate to that place where we saved our file, and click on that file. And here we are in the SAP Visual Enterprise Reviewer. Okay. First thing I want you to do is navigate all the way to the far right. And up here, I want you to change this from orbit to turn. So that way you can click and drag, zoom in super easily, and take a look at your progress. Okay, everything's looking pretty good here. Looks like I need to put some openings in this front view here. Otherwise, everything's looking pretty good. All right, great. Make sure you screenshot this and screenshot your plan view and submit this for the assignment. Thank you.